Rejection. That shit hurts. Oh, it hurts like hell. Rejection's like the word that we all fear and try to avoid, but we will never actually be able to escape from, like, at all. Whether it's in your career or within a relationship, could be family, friends, romantic, colleagues, or even more community or society based as a whole. It could also happen more personally through like a goal or an idea, whatever you are working towards, kind of thing. We've all experienced rejection at one point or another, and we all will continue to do so. There is literally no escaping it. I mean, even Molly Mayhager herself was cheated on by Tommy Fury, and wasn't Beyonce cheated on as well? And then I actually created a reel on this recently, and I've got some examples here because there's those who have seen success. So like J.K. Rowling, for example, she was 32 by the time that Harry Potter was published. She'd experienced years of rejection prior to that. Colonel Sanders, he didn't start KFC until his 60s. He'd attempted numerous different businesses prior to that. So actually, if you take nothing else from this episode today, know that you are not alone. You are not alone. Nobody gets away with a life of zero rejection. The reason that rejection can cause us so much fear, so much pain, is because it brings up these feelings of abandonment, of not being enough, not being accepted. It makes you question your worth. What is wrong with me? And so first of all, if this is something that you have recently gone through or you are currently experiencing, then I just want to validate whatever it is that you are feeling right now, whatever you are experiencing, whatever is going through your mind. I just want to validate that for you, and also to just confirm to you now that you are not alone, that you are enough, that you are incredible, and that better times are coming. And I just want to send you a huge cuddle, so much love and support, and just know that this too shall pass. You will overcome this. And actually, in time, it will all make sense. Going back to these feelings, though, that we do experience, the abandonment, not being enough, questioning our worth, things like that, a lot of it does stem back through history. So in the caveman days, if you was rejected from your tribe, you would die. You'd die because you'd either be eaten by a lion, tiger, whatever, or you'd starve to death. And I think it's the same, obviously, as we are babies or throughout our childhood, where we are so dependent upon others, our parents, to care for us, to feed us, clothe us, to protect us from harm. Again, if we was rejected as a baby, we'd stand no chance. We need people in our lives to fend for us, to ensure our survival. And that's often why children and teenagers care so much about what other people think. They do not want to be rejected. They want to be part of the popular crowd. They don't like it when so-and-so doesn't want to be friends with them anymore. Like, I've got some painful memories from my schoolhood, like my school days and my childhood. I'm sure we all have, where your friendship circle being accepted felt like life or death, didn't it? And as you grow older, you don't care quite so much what people think, but it's still there, and it can still eat away at you in these circumstances and have these effects on you. Now, the amygdala part of our brain, this is the part that basically is always trying to keep us safe. So you'll know the amygdala is working when you're on the edge of your comfort zone and you've got this incredible idea, you're thinking of something amazing, and then this little thought in the back of your mind says, oh, but what if it doesn't work? Or what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? Oh, that's such a risk. Or maybe it's a bad time. Maybe I should wait for the economy to rectify, whatever, I don't know. But whenever that feeling crops up with whatever decision you're thinking about or choice that you're wanting to make, that's your amygdala right there. So obviously back in the caveman days, the amygdala was vital because we had to be on our toes at all times. We were always at risk of death, of being attacked, of fighting for survival, whatever. So it worked wonders back then, to keep people safe. But now, if we're not careful, it actually, in modern times, can hold us back and stop us from making the moves that we should make. But anyway, going back to being rejected back then was quite literally a matter of life and death. So the amygdala would be working overtime to keep you safe. But nowadays, we don't have to worry the same about dying, of course, if we're rejected. But the amygdala is still working in the same way, in that rather than having to fear death, we feel all these horrible feelings. Rather than being abandoned by the pack and worrying how to survive the night, in this case, it may be that you've not got the job that you'd hoped for. Maybe a new potential client said no to your pitch. Maybe a guy ghosts you after 3 incredible dates. Or a friend that no longer wants to hang out with you. Things like that. When I think back to the times that I've been rejected, of course, a few key experiences stick out in my mind. Obviously, the main one being when my husband left me. Now, when this happened, I felt like I had failed at being a wife, that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't worthy enough, I was unlovable. It was awful, it was horrible. I thought that my world was over, my life was over. I was never going to be happy ever again. And yet, through this happening, it led me to this whole spiritual awakening, to truly learn so much about myself, my life. Of course, I started my own business, quit my nursing career, I moved abroad and lived in Bali for a little while. Like, none of this might have happened if he hadn't left me. In fact, I'm pretty certain that it wouldn't have happened. And so for that, I'm now thankful. I am grateful that my husband left me, and it led me to this incredible new path on my life's journey. Another time that obviously sticks out in my mind of periods of rejection was actually in my network marketing business. So firstly, of course, in any business, you are often taught that every no leads you closer to a yes. And so to see it as, okay, perfect, we're one step closer now. And so thinking of it like that way is actually really positive, It's seen as being part of the journey. It's getting you closer to the results and the goals that you seek. And also it may help you in understanding areas that maybe you need to tweak or change things up, see if something else would work better, things like that. So when you think of it in that way, that perspective, it's actually really positive. Now, obviously at the time when you're going through it, it doesn't feel that way. And I'll be honest, I absolutely hated it. I really struggled with the rejection. I found it incredibly painful, and made me really disheartening, demotivating. It was a struggle. It was really hard. But if you think of it in that way, you get the idea, right? But actually, I think in my case, I believe that in the end, the rejection for me, it was actually a sign that deep down what I was doing, it wasn't even for me. It was like the universe was guiding me towards something that was more aligned for me. And while that was painful to think about or consider at the time, because it was really hard to consider the fact that something that I'd been working so hard for so many years, maybe that's not for me, maybe I should leave that, maybe I should let that go. I really struggled with that for quite some time. But it actually led me towards this path of my true passion, my true purpose. And I'm now pursuing something that I feel so called for, so destined towards, so aligned with. And while I'm obviously not making any income from this right now, and I have had to take that little bit of a step back. Actually, no, I should never say that. We never have step backs. Sidestep, that's what it is. But yeah, I obviously had to pick up a part-time job to fund my life, because obviously, you know, bills to pay and what have you. But I know in this scenario that I was actually rejected in order to be redirected towards something better. And that's the thing, isn't it? Because if we actually see rejection as more of a redirection, then there's actually nothing to ever be scared of at all. We're always being redirected towards something better, more aligned for us. Every time I think of, I've only given 2 examples here, but whether it be job offers that I didn't get, or friends that have left me, things in life that I wanted that didn't happen, whatever, it was always because something else was better for me. Whether it was simply because it wasn't the right time and that I needed to wait and be patient or work on myself more, or different circumstances, whatever. But every single thing that I've actually been rejected from, it's always worked out. It's always led me towards something else. There's always been an answer in the end, even though you don't see it at the time. So whether it be a timing thing, whether it's that you're not quite ready just yet, it's not the right time, maybe you require more build of your character, or maybe it just needs to be under different circumstances, whatever it is, the right things, the right people, opportunities, they will happen. They will come into your life when it is right. And so why don't we consider rejection more of a stepping stone? And in fact, the more times that you get rejected, whether it's through stepping forward, taking a risk, making that move, stepping up to that challenge, you're simply taking more and more steps towards your destiny and what is truly aligned to you. Because actually, life is just one big game. It's just a game. And when we think of it that way, we actually become so much more forgiving and compassionate of ourselves and others. We become much more confident in ourselves, more excited about life. We're willing to take those risks. Because the truth is, we're not going to be here forever. And actually, life is so short. So what have we really got to worry about? On your deathbed, are you really going to be thinking about the job that you didn't get, or that guy that ghosted you, the events that your friends didn't invite you to, or the money that you didn't make? Or will you be thinking of all of the things that you wished you'd have gone for, or had, the risks that you could have taken, the regrets of not living a life truly for yourself? and just not giving a fuck what others think, basically. I think that we should actually challenge ourselves to embrace rejection. See it as that stepping stone towards what is meant for us. Rejection is the redirection that we need towards our most aligned life. And so, on that note, let's get out there and not be afraid to go and chase our dreams, talk to that guy, buy the plane ticket, go and compliment a stranger, and show up as the truest, most authentic and aligned version of yourself. And with that, embracing all of what is not for you to simply just fall away, and what is meant to be into your life to be effortlessly drawn in. And I think that concludes today's episode. If you loved this episode, you can leave a comment, share your thoughts, your experiences, and don't forget you can also share this episode with a friend who you feel may benefit also. And so, a final little message for you today. Know that you are amazing, you are incredible, you are enough, you are loved, you are magnetic, you are a powerful creator. And I am so proud of you for the work that you're doing on yourself, the healing, the learning, the growing. Lots of love as always, and I will chat to you on the next episode.